Second. There we are. Good evening, everybody. Welcome yet again to another moment here in the Barbershop Conversations. Tonight, this evening, this morning, whenever you're looking at this, you have an opportunity to be blessed, I hope, to be educated, informed, and inspired by what we're trying to do here in the barbershop, here in this moment in time, and for the remainder of this month. So, as most of you are probably very much aware, and if you're not aware, I'm going to let you know right now that March is Women's Month. Right? It is an opportunity to celebrate our sisters, our mothers, our aunties, and everybody in between who has sowed into this wonderful thing we call life. And so on today, to kick off this opportunity, I am sitting here in the barbershop with a phenomenal young woman who is near and dear to my heart, who is someone who I've known her entire life. Um, this is my little sister, my baby girl, Hope Denise White. I'm gonna give the whole full name because I know she's not gonna be happy with that.
I'm good.
But Hope is going to be on with us today. She is going to kick off for us this month of March, Women's Month, and all that we are going to celebrate about it. I'm going to let her do her introductions of her, who she is and what she does. But today we're just going to pull the covers back and talk about, the journey, her walk, right? What has that been like for her? What is some of the things she's experienced in the years that she's been allowed to grow and, walk through her own personal process, but then also be able to talk about some of the things that she's doing even that might help some other folks get to A to B or B to C or D to E, wherever you're in your journey, to be able to, hopefully get some information, some news, some good news that'll help you understand how to move forward in this thing we call life. She has her own story, folks. Trust me when I say to you, it may be similar to many, but it's unique to her. And she's done some stuff to really pull herself up by her bootstraps and say, listen, I'm not giving up. I refuse to just lay down and be a victim. And so I applaud her today.
Absolutely.
I've said that to her so many times before, but I say it publicly here on this platform. I love her. I'm proud of her. And I'm so excited to share this moment with you so that other folks can get to see what I see. So with all that being said, I did a whole lot of moments of introduction. You got a lot to live up to with all that. But I'm going to put the table on your end of the stick and Hope share. Please give us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and let the folks know who they're in the room with.
Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is, of course, like my brother just said, Hope Denise White, founder, CEO of Women Hope, also founder of Locks with Hope. Um, I my resume is long of things that I do, and it's all because of life lessons. Life lessons have made me the way that I'm in, that made my resume. Things that you go through, you end up with a resume that shows others your journey and where you've been. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but I'm definitely a child of God. And without him, I would not be sitting here right now talking to you. Besides my mom and daddy.
So they played a part in there. They played a part in there.
They played a big part.
So let me. You said something a second ago, Hope, that you used the term, and I want to kind of like echo it or build off of that, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. That your life has built a resume for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so when you think about that, I mean, I know when I think resume, I'm thinking, my experiences through my work, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My body of work. Those are my experiences. Those are the things I've done, or the references that you can hold me accountable to. Talk a little bit about your resume. So, I mean, I don't want to go crazy, but we're gonna pull the covers off tonight and really talk about, who you are and how that works. And I mean, and bear with me because I know a lot of the stories. There might be some I don't know, but there's some stories there that I am very much aware of. Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about, what that looked like. So I'm a firm believer. Like I'll give myself as an example, and you probably know this, Hope, as well already. Transitional moments happened for me early on, right? Where when I realized that this walk, this life that I live isn't about me. It changed a lot of how I dealt with things. And a lot of it, my selfish behavior kind of shifted first time around for me when I became a dad, right? When I first became a
Mm-hmm.
dad, it was like, oh my God, I got to be responsible for somebody other than my behind. And it made
Yes,
me think differently, do
absolutely.
differently. Where was your transitional moment? What happened that caused you to say, "Oh my God, this journey is real"?
Um, it started a long time ago, honestly, because I did a lot of transitions. It wasn't just one particular transition that changed my life. There were so many things that had happened that made me think different each time.
Okay.
Um, I will definitely say it would definitely start when I was 15, 16,
Mm,
was my first transition, and that was getting pregnant. The very first time that
mm-hmm.
I got pregnant in high school. That was a transition by itself because I had no clue of anything. And the person that I was with was, you know, my family would just probably say that why?
Oh,
That's why.
yeah, a
Why?
couple of times I said it. Yeah.
um, so I think that became my first transition because I had no clue. I was still oblivious, and being young
Mm,
and being strong-willed, strong-headed, and really just wanting to just, I love this person, I'm this, that, and the other. And then having the reality after I
mm,
lost the baby, having the reality of you're worth more
mm,
than what's happening right now. You know, it's not benefiting you. This isn't good. You've lost so much. Um, that was my first moment of, okay, you need to rethink your choices a little bit,
mm.
on what you're doing. Um, wasn't an abusive person, but mentally abusive. So there's like a difference. There's like the physical and there's the mental. The mental kind of
Right,
sticks with you
right.
so much harder than physical. So he wasn't physically abusive, but he was mentally abusive to where I wasn't thinking on my own.
Mm,
He was the first person to put in my head that, oh, you're already going to get in trouble. So you might as well just stay on out. You know what I mean? Like, you good? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
like it ain't
like,
gonna matter. Go ahead. You already in trouble, so let's keep having fun.
we out here, let's go. So knowing that wasn't right, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
dropping
but
my
you,
mama.
I'm just gonna put this out there as a disclaimer. You bought into that process
I really
wholeheartedly.
did for a long, long time.
It's like,
You know what
yes,
I'm
let's do it.
saying? Okay, let's go. I'll deal with the consequences later. Um, but after going through that in my teenage life and going through my next real change happened when I had my daughter.
Mm,
Um, all the stuff that I was doing prior to having her was non-existent for me.
mm,
And having faith, her name is Faith, having faith um, gave me a purpose, even more of a purpose. And I knew that God gave her to me and he had trusted her to me because otherwise, like, she wouldn't be here.
right.
That wouldn't happen. Um, so having her and becoming a mom, I took that thing so serious. I took that was one of those, even though I had my own place, I had a job, this, that, and the other, I was still just doing my own thing. I'm the youngest now.
Mm,
So, it's like
mm,
I'm still doing my own thing. And it no longer became about me.
yeah, yeah.
It was about her. So it was like, oh shoot. And I really did put my all 100. My friends be like, don't call her, she ain't coming. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
She ain't
yeah.
coming. Oh, she could bring the baby. That don't matter. She ain't coming.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, being a mother became my other changing moment in life. And then, mom again with my son. And then my biggest change that brought me to who I am today is losing my dad.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when when I
Yeah.
lost my dad, right, our dad, um, I didn't want nothing but him back. Like, say what you want about this man, he wasn't perfect. You know what I mean? But he was perfect to me, and
Mm.
there was nothing he wouldn't do for me. There wasn't a place that he wouldn't be that I was at. He was my protector. He was my provider. He was my first love. He was my everything. And to
Yeah.
lose him broke me, you know, it broke me. And I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything because I just couldn't function, because where is he? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he should be here to see all these milestones and things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
And losing him so suddenly, um, made me rethink my life a whole lot.
Right.
That there's no time to procrastinate, to do things. There's no time to waste. So anytime I started thinking of things that I wanted to do, I didn't waste time doing it because I didn't know if I had tomorrow. I didn't know if I had next
Yeah.
week. I didn't know if I had next month. Because of him leaving the way that he left, I didn't have a chance to say anything else to him, you know?
Right.
So, that in mind, from that moment on, there was no time for wasting because I don't have
Yeah.
time. I don't have time. And if I'm thinking about it, I'm going to try it. If it works or it don't work, it won't be because I didn't do it or try to do it. And that's how I live now. Right now, I live, hey, if I'm thinking about it, I'm going to try it. you know if it works, great. If it don't, ain't gonna say I didn't do it.
Right. Right.
And that's how I live now. So that's why I have so many things going on, because I choose not to waste the moment that God has given me to be here to see the day, the day, the day, the day, the day. And as long as he keeps letting me see each day, I'm gonna keep pushing to do something else.
That's awesome. Listen, I love hearing that, even though I'm very much aware of it, because that is a Robert White mantra. And for those who don't know, Robert White is our dad. He lived every day that way. Like, he
Hmm.
just did his thing, and whether you liked it or you didn't like it, or if it worked or it didn't work for you,
Hmm.
he still said, "Hey, this is what I
Yeah,
want to do, and I'm going to do it."
yeah.
And so, yeah, I completely get that from you, Hope. I think that you are living in that truth when it comes to moving and taking the risk and stepping out on faith that this
Mhm.
is possible.
Yeah.
Even when some other folks might look at you and be like, why? You're like, no, no, no. This because this is where I see me going with it.
Hmm.
And you rock with it wholeheartedly. So I commend you on that as well.
Thanks.
Um, give me a couple of minutes. I want to talk about, because I know you just gave us this really wonderful broad stroke, um, covering probably about a good 15, 20 years of
It's a
space.
lot. It's a lot.
Um, I want to talk a little more specifically to some stuff that um, directly goes to hope, right?
Okay.
I'm not even going
Hmm.
to call you by the other name, but hope.
Well, you can
So
call me by either one. It's fine.
you fine with it? Okay.
I
Because
am.
but, but I really want to talk about, because I know you kind of alluded to it in your first relationship with, the young man who you lost a child with.
Hmm.
I know, and I want you to talk to this point of how you managed, because I know that you had a number of failed relationships, and I mean, as
Hmm.
we all have, right?
Hmm.
As a young woman growing up, seeing, and I've voiced this, and for those who haven't heard me say this, I'll say it now. We grew up in a house that was dysfunctional,
Hmm.
right? My mom and my dad loved them both wholeheartedly, had a dysfunctional relationship. Um,
Absolutely.
and so there was no Huxtable moments for us. Even though we had both mom and dad in the household, it was far from the Cosby Show. It was some craziness that we looked through and lived through and dealt with on a daily. How did that impact you in your selection process? Right, knowing how much dad was a part of who you were, and
Hmm.
that's who you honestly, and I know this, look to and you gravitated to, is that's the type of person who you, as you stated, your first love. How
Hmm.
did that impact your process in selecting mates or the guys who you found yourself gravitating to?
If they provided,
Mm,
if they were providing the necessary needs for me, um, I equated that as they care for me, they love me, and that's not necessarily true.
right.
Um, I also equated those failed relationships as somebody that wanted to be with me,
Mm,
regardless. You know, they're around me, they're with me, we're intimate, we do this, that, and the other. I equated that they were into me. They felt something for me. And seeing my mom and dad, regardless of how argue, whatever, this, that, and the other, it didn't matter because they were still together and they were still in the same household and they just still kept rocking and going on and go to work, come
right,
home,
right,
pay
right,
bills. We never did not eat. We never did not have clothes. We never did not have, so because of that, I felt like you stay in something regardless of whatever, how hard it may be, you stay in it because this is what works. And I
is
did
what
that
we
for a
know.
long time with Faith's dad. We were together for a long time. It wasn't always the best relationship for me, but because we had a daughter together, I was fighting for my family.
Mm,
And to keep my family together so that my daughter is happy. She has her dad and she has her mom, because that's what I had. I had my
right,
mom and my dad in the same household. Not that it was a good look, it looked good on outside, it
right,
looked good to everybody else. But no one knew everything that and don't get me wrong, like I swear with Faith's dad, I was in love with this man. um and we were friends, and we were cool, and our families
right.
got our families went well together. Everything was it was looked good, but when you take your blinders off and you see that things aren't healthy and things aren't good and your child isn't happy, your child is suffering, and something has to give. And
Right.
one of us had to make a decision, and that was me. I made the decision that we just need to just be parents, um,
Mm,
and do our best to be parents. And I chose to, regardless of whether he did or did not do, I was going to do what was best for my daughter, and that was to be her mom.
right.
Um, and that meant that I didn't have to be with him to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know I've heard my mom say this before, um, don't stay with somebody because of your children.
Mm,
If you're not happy, you don't stay in a relationship. Because I did that
right.
for the sake of y'all, and I was unhappy. Hearing that in my head, that's why, honestly, I stayed single really after that, because I refused to be unhappy, And the moment
Or
that I
settle.
started,
Yeah.
yeah, the moment that I started feeling unhappy or settled in a relationship, I would leave. And it wouldn't matter. Like, okay, I'm moving on because I can't. I'm not going to do that to myself. My mom said,
Mm.
don't settle. She said, don't just
What,
be in
what, what
something.
mama say go.
Yeah, So I didn't, and I, y'all all know, like, I don't bring nobody around to my family or any of that because I take those things very serious.
Very serious.
Yeah, like relationships are real. And if I don't feel that you are genuinely for me, and that means completely for me, and that doesn't just mean intimately. I mean, are you with me socially, emotionally, spiritually, financially?
Right.
It's everything. And if I'm not feeling one of those is off, two of those is off, then something's off. you're not thinking
Right.
about me. You're thinking about yourself. So that's why I chose, I'm choosing my path the way I choose it when it comes to that is because
Right.
of watching not just my mom and dad, my sisters. You know, I
Your
watched
brother.
I watched I watched what they went through
Hmm.
and I was like, I don't want that.
Right.
I'm the youngest and the only one that hasn't been married in my
Mm.
in my out of my siblings. And it's because of my fear.
Mm.
I'm so
Wow.
afraid of marriage. Mommy doesn't like when I say that I don't want to get married.
Explain that. What do you mean by your fear of marriage? Please share
I'm
that.
you know what it is? It's because I watched y'all.
Hmm.
I watched you. I watched Linda. I watched Rosie. I watched David. I watched James. I watched mommy and daddy. I watched my nieces. I watched my nephews. I watched everybody in this marriage thing, right? And I'm like, yo, and mind you, every single one of y'all marriages didn't work for one reason or another.
Hmm.
It wasn't like it's the same thing in for each one of y'all,
Right. Right.
but it was like, I don't even want to go through none of that. Like,
Mm.
I don't want to deal with none of that. I don't because I don't like confrontation, number one. I don't want to argue. I don't want to do any of that. And I know everything's not happy, joy all the time. But I need somebody that's really going to want to communicate because that's the one common denominator I did see in everybody's relationship. There's no communication and there's no this, that, and the other. So it put me in a place like, I can't.
Mm.
I don't want to. Yeah, I'd rather just stay by myself. I'd rather just deal with me,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and not do marriage because I feel like I've watched too many failed.
Right.
The
So
only
let me
thing, only one that I could actually say is my brother James, who's still with his wife and forever, ever. But you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
he's a
other
different
than
breed.
other than that,
He is a different breed.
yeah. But other
Um,
than that, it puts a little fear in me to where I'm like,
right.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know.
Mm.
I don't know what the future holds, and I don't know what God has for me. But I know that I'm a little guarded on that piece.
Gotcha. 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 Do, do you, because I heard it in your voice and maybe, maybe I miscued this, but so is there a bit of you that feels like, man, because I'm the only one who hasn't crossed that broom, is there a bit of you that feels like, man, I feel like I'm missing something?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I also, Ned, honestly, I could be in a long-term relationship and I think I would be happy. I'm just
Okay.
saying. I'm just
I
saying.
appreciate that honest moment.
I'm just being honest. You
I
know what?
appreciate it.
Because I don't want anyone to feel like they're pressured to marry.
Right. Correct. They should never. That's
Like
not how it works.
yeah, I don't want you to feel like if it happens that, it is what it is. But
Mhm.
I want to be able to just enjoy us and what we do without the whole stamp of I'm married to you.
Right.
And it feels like everything shuts off when that happens. Like, why aren't we still the same people that we were before we said I do?
Mm.
Like, what happened? Like,
Wow.
what switch went off that now we aren't the same people? We was just having an amazing time with each other, and then as soon as we said I do, everything
That,
said I
that,
don't.
that's the perception that you've been left with.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
There's like everything's wonderful, everybody's happy, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh heck, break loose.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah,
Listen,
I'm sorry I said it like that, but
no, 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 no. And listen, and I appreciate the honesty of where you are with it, because that's how we learn and that's how we develop and grow. And as you know, and I know, and we'll talk about that in a second. That's part of the process, right?
mm-hmm.
Finding real love, true love, unconditional love is not easy.
No.
And then being able to be open and receptive to receive it is
Mm-hmm.
hard. And for some of us who have unfortunately had a tainted perspective sometimes because of the environment that we grew up
Yeah.
in or that we found ourselves associated with. It's difficult to put your guard down and surrender to that love because, everything that we've looked at says it's not possible or
Yeah.
it's not. Look, here's example after example after example of it not working. So
I
why would
mean,
I
you
put
just think
myself in?
about this. Mommy and daddy were married how long?
Oh gosh, mommy and daddy were married for 30, almost 33 years. Yep. Yep. 33 years.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say about that.
That's all you go say there. Okay. Well, yeah.
Just gonna
I
leave
mean,
that on the table right there.
you go, and so to put that in that right, because I mean, there are going to be. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is that my
Okay.
uh-oh.
Say hey.
EJ. Something's wrong.
Grandson, y'all, grandson.
The grandchild woes. He's not happy and runs to grandma.
That's what he does.
Yeah. So again, to talk about the whole opening ourselves up, receiving, and being receptive to the love that someone can bring to you, or the
Mm-hmm.
potential love that someone can bring to you, takes a lot, and it takes a level of courage and dare I say stupidity and trust that not everybody's ready to deal with because it is a gamble and it is
You used
a
to say
high
that to
risk.
me all the time.
Yeah. It is. So let me shift for a minute because
Okay.
as we talk about the gambles, right, the things that we do out of the love or the passion that we have,
Yeah.
let share a little bit with me about Women Hope,
My
and the
baby.
passion and the love
My
that's attached
baby.
to that. Yes, because you birthed that.
Yeah, my baby. Wow. I actually was sitting with my son,
Mm.
me and him. We always do this. Me and Cam, we sit and we just talk in politics. We sit in the living room and
Yep, that's
always
your
trying to come up.
soundboard.
Yeah, come up with a master plan. That's what we do. So I just kept saying, I was like, yeah, Cam, I said, I gotta do something. And he was like, do what? I was like, I just want to do something. I want to come up with something, and I want to help people. I want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if I can do something to kind of raise money or raise awareness to help somebody else, then I want to do something like that. So he was like, well, you could do that, Mom. You can do whatever you want. So I'm like, okay. So he getting me all like,
he got the fire going.
yeah. So I was like, I want to do something that's always around my birthday. So instead of me receiving a gift, I'd be a gift. So we came up with, he came up with Women Hope.
Okay.
My son came up with Women Hope. And I co-signed it. And I really truly believe when we started talking about it, it was just a thought, just talking, but then I sat after he was gone and he went to bed. I sat still and quiet to listen and see if this was really something that God would want. So the one time that you can hear what he wants is when you sit still and you say nothing. So I sat still for 2 days. I sat still for 2 days and just listened to see what he wants me to do, what kind of vision, what kind of plan, what kind of, because I wanted it to be something that he would be pleased with, because I know that there's so many things in my life that he has not been pleased with. I said, I want to please you, Lord. I have not done good at that, So I want
Give me a chance, Lord, to show you I can.
give me a chance, Lord, to show you I could do something that would be pleasing to you. And he did give me Women Hope, and I ran with it that night, and we've been moving ever since. I literally feel like these past 3 years, even going through the pandemic and everything, that it has definitely, well, 4 years, it has definitely been a blessing, because I've reached so many people and
Mhm.
talked to so many people and have dealt with so many people that really care.
Right.
But Women Hope basically is an organization that I created that would help other organizations that help people,
Mm,
that I know that they help people. And the way that I know that they help people, because they helped me. Um,
mm,
and in being that they helped me with my children,
okay.
I wanted to do the same,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
So let's talk about that. So what are some? I mean, and I don't want us to get completely off the track, but give us a snapshot of some of the things that you can say. Hey, here were some needs I had, and these organizations helped me through. Like what kind of examples?
Well, there were some examples when I needed a place to stay for me and my kids.
Okay.
Um, and granted, I was staying with my mom, but it was a lot. Not only
Hmm.
for us, but also for, my mom and dad,
Hmm.
2 kids. Not that they didn't mind, but for me as an adult, um, I wanted to be able to stand on my own 2 feet and be able to really raise my kids. Um, I appreciated their support, and I knew that they will always be there for me regardless. Um, but Homefront, what they did is they helped me
Mm,
find a place. And not only did they help me find a place, they also paid my security deposit. They also furnished our apartment, gave my kids beds, um, and they also continued supporting us even after with food and Christmas supply, Christmas things, and
I got you.
they did so
They,
many things
they
that
helped you get on your feet.
they really did. They helped
Okay.
me get on my feet and get started. Like,
So.
like being where I was, it was like, okay, I needed just a jump start. I needed
Mhm.
somebody to just give me a chance to try to do this
Mm.
thing. And I felt like they did. Like they really did give me a chance.
So
Um,
is that what Women's Hope is about? Is trying to help folks get
it,
a
it
jump start?
is. It is because I want families, whether it's a single dad, single mom, it could be a two-family household. It's still hard, you
Mm.
know. But if I can do anything to help somebody else know that, hey, I know your struggle. I'm not just doing this like I didn't ever go through anything before. I'm doing this because I've been through that. And I
Right.
want you to know that you can get through that, you know? And it's not easy, but if you truly believe that you can get through that, you're going to get through that, you
Mm.
know? But with these
Wow.
organizations' support and me being able to help them to continue the work, and I'm praying that one day I can be in a place where I'm doing it all on my own and I'm not just giving it to somebody else to do. I want
Hmm.
Women Hope to be like a home front, like a Catholic Charities. You know what I mean? I wanted to be like Woman's Space. I wanted to be a vessel where people can really get resources, real resources, you know, and
Awesome.
knowing that I'm not just giving you this, I want you to learn something from this. If you're having financial trouble, I need to show you how to do your finances or point you to someone to help you with your finances. If you
Hmm.
having trouble being it, because a lot of times that's where we fall, is because we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know that now that I know, like I had counseling with Women's Space when I had faith. I
Right.
had counseling with Women's Space. So I learned some things about myself, that it wasn't just about me and her dad. It was some things about me. that I needed
Right.
to that I needed to fix and to work on so that I could be a good mom.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
the things that are important. It's not
Yep.
always about the other person.
That
Sometimes it's you.
yep. The
You
self
need to
work.
you got to do some self-evaluation. And going through women's space, I had some self-evaluations what made me be a better mom to Faith.
Awesome. Awesome.
So you do. I want to be those vessels. I want to be able to be like, let me work with women's space, not be, just
Mm-hmm.
the giver of a donation. I want to be like, hey, let's team up and do something,
Gotcha.
so that we both, so that's where I'm at.
So share with us some of the stuff that you've done. I know you have a big event coming up in a couple of weeks. So
Yes.
talk a little bit about what's coming up, what you got going on, some of the stuff you've done to make that vision possible.
I started with no money,
Okay.
zero, but God.
Amen.
I really honestly, when I started, I had no funds. I had no idea. He gave this to me and I had no idea how I was going to do it. I did not know which way to look. I didn't even reach out to anybody to tell me how to do it or show me how to do it. And this is being straight honest.
Yeah.
Like, I did not talk to anyone because I did not want anyone to know my vision. I did not want anyone to know my goal. I did not want anyone to really tap in and try to change or do something different than what he gave me to do.
Right.
So I did it the way he told me to. So I literally went on, researched all on my own, and realized that I could do this without starting with money. So found the place, found out how much it costs. Knights of Columbus, who I've been using from day one, they've been working with me. They are awesome when it comes to that. And reaching out, I started just reaching out to different vendors. I was going to vendor events, passing out flyers. I was doing everything, and once I got vendors from all over, not just Trenton, because Trenton did not show me love the first time. I'm listen.
Put it out there. Right. Right.
Trenton did not
Your
show
hometown.
no love my first year doing it, and it's okay because I still love my town. I was born and raised West Trenton, but listen, none of them responded to any of my anything, and I had to go somewhere else to get support. Vendors that I thought would have responded to me that are from Trenton, that I'm friends with some of them, and I would think that they know like nobody. So
Right.
I ended up getting vendors that's from like North Jersey, South Jersey, Philly, all over, that came and were vendors and made out,
So what's the event that you do, Hope? I know you're talking about the process, but give our listeners, because some of our listeners might not know what you're talking about.
So we're talking about the Women Hope Expo. That's going to be March the 12th at Knights of Columbus. It's going to be from 12 to 4.
Okay.
Knights Columbus is in Hamilton, New Jersey. There will be 18 vendors, all different types. You name it: oils, soaps, clothes, jewelry, health, you name it. We'll have it. We're also going to have some performances. We're going to have some speakers. We have music, food. Yeah, it's a good time, and it's a family event. So when the proceeds always go to a nonprofit organization, So yeah, every we do it every year.
Awesome.
This year 4, so I'm happy about it.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think it's important for folks to see and know what's going on, and the fact that, like you said, the support help that you received has basically been the drum
Mm-hmm.
that causes you to say, hey, let me do or pay it forward, as folks say,
Mm-hmm.
do more to help the community, or even by supporting those organizations that help you, but also being a beacon for other folks to know that they can do more in their communities. Even when you don't get the support that you feel you should have gotten.
It's all good
still doing more and still supporting. And those, because I know personally that you're still supporting folks, even though, it hasn't been reciprocated. You're still like, this is how I'm going to show it the right way or show a better way. I think that's really
Well,
awesome.
well, our parents said you don't do things expecting something in return. If you're
Mm,
going to do it, you're doing it because that's what you choose to do. So you just do it. So
yeah,
I see
yeah.
that regardless of whatever, if someone has a business or they have something going on, and if I can't do nothing but share it or, hopefully maybe show up or whatever, I think that I've done my part. So it doesn't take much to just support a little bit, no matter what. But I don't look for anything in return because I'm just doing this. This is how I was raised. This is what I do.
Yeah.
My mom speak to people that she don't even know. So I think that I
Yeah.
should be able to support people that I do know or don't know.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
DNA.
Yeah. Mom is the originator of the front porch ministry.
Front porch ministry. Front
She
porch ministry.
speak to everybody.
That's right.
And I think that's awesome. We need more of that in the world where folks just say hi.
Hi, just hi. It
If
ain't
you
gonna
can
hurt
just
you.
say hello to some folks, it
It
might
ain't gonna
change a
hurt you.
person's day.
But it ain't gonna hurt
Um,
you either.
it won't hurt one bit. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, Women Hope event coming up in a week. What are we?
Yes.
A week and a half
Well, we
away?
away. Yeah, next week.
Wow. Wow. Year 4. I
Yeah.
remember year 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because I've been at each one of them. Uh, but I'm excited about the fact that I watch, and I mean, this is my moment for you, watching the growth not only in the expo, but in your ability and willingness to stretch and expose yourself to other folks to say, hey, here I am, here's what I've been through, and
Mhm.
you know I've been able to deal with this, and guess what, if I can, you can. I think that message from the expo is probably one of the most prolific parts for me, is the fact that there is a living testimony to the fact that there is, excuse the pun, there is hope. There is hope, and so I think that that's really important for people, as we're going through, especially now. While we're dealing with
So
the
much.
so
So
much of
much.
the unknown and the
Mhm.
uncertain, to be able to have a moment where we can create, even if it's just through an expo or through a conversation like this, we're able to help some folks see things differently, be able to process some things better, and realize that they're not in it by themselves is
Yeah.
huge. Absolutely huge. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
because I think that I'm sorry, but I think that what has happened in the world is that there's so much division
hmm,
that no one feels like they need to help the other, or no one listens to anyone. And that's when depression sets in.
hmm,
And depression is super huge right now because so many people are stressed and feeling alone. Um,
yeah, yeah,
you know, no one calls nobody. No one really talks to anybody. No one deals or and they feel
yeah,
alone.
yeah,
And, so I think that division has definitely hit our world at a most high.
yeah.
Even within our family, we can definitely attest to this, that even in our family, you find division. And I think that's what happens now is that so many families are broken. And when you
Mm,
have broken families, the world is going to fall apart, you know. But
yeah.
I really just want to build and let people know that together, my mama, this, this does nothing. This don't hurt. But when you do this, you pack a mighty punch. But we can't do a whole lot
With an
with an
extended
open
hand,
hand. But with a closed fist, so if
make
we
an impact.
together, it makes a big
Makes an
impact. And
impact.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
think
Mother
that,
Carter.
yeah, momos, you gotta do that because
Yeah,
that's important.
it
It's
is.
important.
It is. Listen, I've said it many times before, and I agree with you on that. Hope that you know the family structure is in disarray,
Hmm.
and just my opinion, folks, that when the family structure is fallen, the moral compass is now muted and
Hmm.
deleted in some places. the things that a lot of us grew up taking for granted, even as simple as the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you, doesn't exist anymore. Everybody's like, gimme, gimme, gimme. I want, I want, I want. No, mine. And
Mm-hmm.
so there isn't that type of, you know, shared thinking anymore,
Right. Right.
with where we are in society. And the pandemic didn't help because it
No.
caused a lot of us to just be even more separated
Mm-hmm.
and more inclusive. We're just basically, I mean, we're less inclusive. We're dealing with just, oh, it's just me, I'm staying in my own lane, my own
Yeah.
corner, and don't bother me, I won't bother you. And so it takes away from the family structure that a
Yeah.
lot of us had not only grown with but loved to have and
Mhm.
depended on. It just
Yeah.
made a lot of us better than who we are,
Yeah.
who we could have been, should have been. um, I had a couple of minutes, but I wanted to touch base on one last piece of your story, because I don't want to miss out on that, because I know that you have, um, for the last, I guess, 2 years now,
Mm-hmm.
have been going through your own personal transformation,
Yeah.
physically and emotionally and
Yes.
spiritually, um, when you decided to uh, do your hair natural
Yes.
and go with your locks.
Yes.
So give me a snapshot of why, what made you decide to go lock up, right? What made you decide to lock up? Two, how's the process been, right? Because a lot of folks, I mean, even myself, I mean, I'm not locking. There's no way that you're gonna be able to, this will never lock. But but to think about the process, because I mean, there, I've noticed that there is I don't want to call it a trend, but it is an insurgent of folks who are now saying,
Yeah.
hey, I'm
Yeah.
going natural and I'm going to lock my hair up. And then you see folks, they started, and then halfway through, they 6 months later, you like, yo, I thought you was locking, and then they not.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
like, no, I went cut that stuff
Yeah.
off. I couldn't deal
Yeah.
with. So talk about your journey, your process with locks, and
Well,
why you did it. How's it benefited you? If it has, what's the struggle been? Give me a little bit of that.
well, I've been natural for 17 years before I even locked my hair. So I've been
Okay.
natural for 17 years. So I wear a twist, I wear bantu knots in my hair, I wear it out afro. Like I've done it all. But this transition to locking my hair was something I had thought about for a long time,
Okay.
you know, but I wasn't ready, for everything that comes with having locks. Um, you really have to try to make sure you in a place of patience because
It's a
it
struggle
takes
for most of us,
patience.
but okay.
Yeah, no, it is. It's serious. There's some patience. First of all, there's patience when it comes to having natural hair, period.
Hmm.
Um, but locks transition is it takes some more patience. So for me, I learned a lot about myself when it comes to beauty, that it's not just outside, that you need to
Mm.
love yourself inside. And you start not thinking about your hair as much as you're doing everything else. So now I'm not focused on my hair. I'm focused on everything else that has to deal with hope, because
Mm.
my hair now is not a factor. So now I'm thinking about my physical, you know what I'm saying, my emotional self, my all of those things that you should be thinking about, how I eat, what I do, this, that, and the other. I'm thinking more of those
Mhm.
things now than focusing on my hair, you know. And so within these past 2 years, this year's the first year that I'm sharing my journey with other people. So I've had, I would say, like 4 people that I've started their locks within this
Okay.
past year. Um, and they all have been loving the journey. And they all
Mm.
have said, I've learned some stuff about myself that I did not realize, and it's not for everybody.
Right. Right.
It's definitely not for everybody, because you want a quick lock to happen. That's not how it happens. It's all about trusting the process, know,
Mm.
under construction. You know what I'm saying? Like you got all these things that's happening in you as a whole. So it's not just about hair.
Right.
It's about the person, your inner person. You know, I felt so much about myself, things that I just wasn't. I mean, and just think that I was single and choosing to be single during this whole process because I just was redoing myself and rebuilding myself, you know, and
Mm.
finding who I am and not just figuring out, oh, well, you know, what am I going to do with my hair? You know, what am I, you know, I got to look a certain way when I walk out the door, you know. And I got that from my mom because my mom was a very firm believer of what you look like when you walk out the door. You need to be
Amen.
looking all together,
Still
you
feel that
know.
way.
Yeah, you know, like you need to look a certain way, you know.
Hmm.
So having to go through that was definitely a process, and now I'm loving it. It's everything to me. Starting my own products and this, that, and the other. That I currently got rose water in the kitchen right now cooking. Um, but yeah, it's a process. I love it. I feel
Mm.
good about myself. Not caring about, you know, if it's fuzzy today, it don't matter, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's so
And
funny. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but one of the listeners, actually Linda Addison, who we both know very well, just made a comment that our hair has been such a distraction to
it
us.
is a distraction. It is
Yeah,
very much a distraction because you think about how much time you spend on your hair that you and missed the movie, you and missed the
the dinner,
you late for church, you know
everything,
what I mean?
right?
Everything because you trying to figure out what what am I going to do
Right,
with my hair? Whereas now I get dressed, wash my face, brush my teeth, and then I'm out the door. Um, I spray my hair and I just let it rock, you know,
right,
and feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? Like
right. It isn't one of the top five concerns on your table.
it is not.
Yeah, yeah,
It is
yeah.
not.
I feel that way too. I didn't lock up, but this process was part of that too. There was my process of like, hey, I don't
Yeah,
have to
because
worry about like,
I
oh
just
man, I got to
really
get to
feel
the
like
barbershop.
I feel like a lot of people they are consumed with, and granted, you know what, hair weave, perm, whatever works for you, that is awesome. I just wanted
Right.
something that was healthy, that I'm
Mm.
going to take care of. It feeds my soul. It, you know, now I'm into so many things that's aromatherapy and things like that that just helps me cleanse my inner spirit. And I don't have to worry about all the extraness. You know, I use less products in my hair. I just don't. So I feel
Right.
like I've
Right.
saved money. I don't have to be spending money every 2 weeks going to the shop.
Right.
I ain't spending 300 and something dollars that some people spend to get my hair weave done. No offense, y'all. That's what rocks with y'all. Y'all, congratulations. But I got rent,
Right.
I got bills, and and I am not spending it on my hair.
Oh gosh. Yeah, absolutely. Because it can be costly. I mean, listen, I've heard many tales of women who've spent hundreds of
Yeah,
dollars
yeah,
at the salon
yes.
just to go back and do
I
it
was
all
one
over
of
again in
those
two
people.
weeks
I was one of those
or less than a
people.
month.
I was one of those people. But now that money, I put it to an envelope and it's my savings.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, listen, we can do this all night. I want to take a quick moment just to thank those folks who are listening. I see we got, listen, it's a family affair on here today with us, Hope. I don't know if you know that, but I mean, my partner in crime, brother Elroy Young is on, so I appreciate him sharing with us and being with us today. Sister Francine, love you, girl. I'm glad that
Oh,
you
look,
are
I see,
watching
I
today.
see, I
Uh,
see.
we got our cousin Chris Hook.
I
Bug,
see, I
love you, bro.
see. Hey,
Appreciate you. My
everybody.
sister Linda, my nephew David. I appreciate you guys taking a moment to just pop in and listen and share. Again, I hope that something that we've talked about or shared in Hope's Walk that kind of opens up some eyes and make folks see things differently and know that, if nothing else, that there is the possibility of getting through whatever you're dealing with, whatever the struggle may be. And each and every one of us have our own walk, right? Each
Yes.
and every one of us are walking this walk of life, dealing with adversities, dealing with the challenges, the struggles, the levels of depression, the
Yes.
the disappointments of failure. All of that
Mhm.
hits us at any point in our lives. And so to know that if we stick to it, and if we continue to push forward, if
Absolutely.
we continue to just get up the next day and try it again, keep trying, keep trying and not give up. You too can say, listen, I'm at a better place. Even if you're not at a place of completion, which
Yeah.
sometimes some of us will never reach, right? Some of us will never reach that, even though, I think that becomes the big push for a lot of us. We're always trying to reach this level of completion,
I think that
and we miss the journey. Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I'm sorry. But the one thing I think that I always stick to, and I say it to a lot of people, the journey is yours.
Mm-hmm.
It's not everybody's journey. So he only gives you your path to go on. So don't be trying to do everybody else's path. You need to focus
Mm,
on the path that he's giving you. So the
amen.
journey is yours, it's not somebody else's. So
That's
it
right.
may look crazy to somebody else, but it's your journey. And it
Right.
wasn't meant for anybody else to take that journey because they couldn't handle what you have to go through.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
And
not your
vice versa.
journey.
Right. Absolutely. All of us have our own, and it
Yeah.
is unique to you.
Yes.
So please know, if you take anything from today, and again, the emphasis of Barbershop Conversations this month is really about highlighting my sisters. This actually is an opportunity to highlight not a sister, but my real sister, my blood sister. I love her to death and to life completely. But I want everybody to realize that, we got some phenomenal women in our lives, in our circles, in our communities, that need to be spotlighted, that need to have a moment to know that not only are we watching you and we see you, but we appreciate you and we're here to support you. I'm speaking to you as a brother, but also as a Black man who understands that this struggle of life isn't just about us, that
Mm,
it is about all of us, meaning both men and women, because we all have our own struggles, our own issues, our own moments of depletion. And to be able to be supported and just told that, listen, sis, I love what you're doing, keep doing it, keep pushing, is powerful. So Hope, continue to do what you're doing, continue to
thank
push
you.
forward, continue to strive for the excellence that is in you. Know that no matter what else goes on around you, that as long as you stick to the path that God has put for you and you trust his process for you, success comes with every step, not just at the end. It comes with every single step. There's a moment of success. So I share that with Hope, but I also share that with all my sisters who are watching and listening. Know that I love you folks. Know that you matter to me. And as always, I'm going to continue to pray for you, and I'm going to continue to love on you. So know that that is something that will never change. So please, please, please know that we are here for you. If ever you need to reach us here at RMN, you can do so through any of our many streams of media, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or on Instagram or on TikTok or YouTube. You can find us, you can connect with us. Royalty Mission Network is always here for you. Know that we will never, ever put you in a position where you should fail. We are always looking to uplift, always looking to bring you to that next place that God has for you so that you can be the best you can be here at Royalty Network Mission Network. We love you. Take care of yourselves, and God bless.